Hi, I'm Dana, and this is the second time I'm filming this video because I got really angry the first time and I was sort of just shouting at the camera. So we're going to try and avoid this time. So today's video is very much inspired by a video I watched that I'm not going to link you to. I'm not going to show you, I'm not going to tell you about, I am going to tell you about it, but I'm not going to do anything to help you go and find it because it was vile. It was absolutely disgusting. It was possibly the worst video I've watched on this platform. And I've been on YouTube for like 10 years, like it's really saying something. Oh God, I think it's closer to 13. I've been here a long time. And today I found a video from a man talking about women faking autism for attention and to be special and cute and quirky. And number one, the video that he used to base his entire thing off was one from Ella Willis, who I follow and enjoy the content of, and who isn't a woman, they're non-binary, so you've already really fucked up there, pal. He also uses the R word and is proud of using the R word and thinks it's okay because one of his autistic friends, one singular autistic person told him that it's okay. But he spent this entire video tearing apart one of Ella Willis's videos, who I will link below because I think they're a great content creator, and like I say, I follow them myself. I think they're fantastic. They are currently self-diagnosed, but they are going through like the process of getting an autism diagnosis. It's difficult, and they talk about how difficult it is, and this person just laughed at their points. And I was expecting to scroll down to the comments and see lots of people disagreeing and telling them how it actually is, just to see hundreds of people agreeing with him. And it boiled my blood because he just didn't make appropriate points. He clearly doesn't understand anything about being autistic or what autism is. And these are the people that are getting lots and lots of views, you know. It's so often videos from people who aren't autistic that actually get views. And this one in specific, obviously, as an autistic woman who makes content, it feels a bit close to home. It's a little personal for you to start implying that women all over the shop are just faking being autistic to get a bit of attention online, and that especially that it's cute and quirky. But we'll get to that because that's the bit I'm angriest about, so I want to save it till the end in case I start shouting again. So my first point I want to make is that it's not okay to use slurs. I don't even care if you are autistic. Things like the R word like spaz, any of them, it's a slur and I don't think people should use them. Obviously, freedom of speech does exist and you can. However, freedom of speech exists and I can say that I don't think people should. I do want to touch on these reaction videos to like autistic people very briefly, because I think one of the things that always worries me online with my own content and my own like existence online is I require so much context. I love context. And when people are replying to one video, when people are reacting to one video, such as the one from Ella Willis, I really hope that is their last name. I just remember that the first name's definitely Ella and the last name begins with a W. But like I said, I'll link them down below. But you're just reacting to this one video and you don't have the context of the things they've been through, especially when it's a TikTok and like at the very most you get in 3 minutes, 5 minutes? There's not enough context there. If I was going to do like a reaction video channel type of content, I would want to look into these people and ensure that I'm getting like the correct context around who they are and what they're actually trying to say with their content. Because as someone who follows Ella, I know about their like journey to like figuring out they're autistic and like the journey that they've been on to try and get a diagnosis, and you know, I'm aware of their life that they choose to share and the context around them. Whereas this guy, like I say, he misgendered them. He didn't even have the context that they're a non-binary person that uses they, them pronouns. So there's no chance that he has the context behind, like, the years that they spent not feeling like themselves. And, you know, like, they've shared a lot of, like, very deeply personal things. You know, there's so much context to people that cannot be gained from just one video. And to then make an entire, like, 10-minute video essentially bullying them. Like, I'm sorry, but it is. It's... You know, I don't think all reaction channels and all reaction videos are bullying, but I think that this specific one that I watched that I won't be linking to, and many that are a similar vein that are talking about autistic people and especially autistic women, they're so often choosing one or two people from the community to pull up and bully. It's as simple as that. Like, this video was bullying Ella Willis. I'm it's as simple as that. There's not much more to say on that specific point, because it is just bullying. It's just belittling someone and saying that you don't agree with their opinion without even actually hearing or listening to their opinion. And it's really gross. You know, and I think I have like a little extra anger around it because it is someone that I follow and have like some degree of a sort of like parasocial relationship with. I know a lot about them and I like them as a person despite not knowing them. But I think that my point would still stand and be the same, and I'd have a similar level of anger if it was someone I'd never heard of before. Because it's so easy to bully us. Like, it really just is, you know? I've shared so much stuff on this channel and on Instagram and various other social media places. It would be incredibly easy to pick things from my life and from like bits of my content and just be horrible to me and really hurt me. It would be very, very easy. And that's something that we choose to allow as creators. You know, I've put it all out there. You can do it if you wanna, but it's a case of like there should be a basic human decency and ethicality to say like, yo, these people are trying to help other people. They're trying to like gain a bit of validation for themselves. There's nothing wrong with that. Trying to feel good about themselves, and you're just shitting all over them and bullying them, and I really don't understand why. But the point this person was making is that people, and especially women, are just pretending to be autistic online because it's cute and it's quirky and it's kooky. And that was when I really realised that this person just doesn't have any understanding of what it's like to be autistic, and especially not to be a late diagnosed or self-diagnosed autistic woman or autistic non-binary person in Ella's case. And one of the points they responded to specifically that Ella made was that they were making the point that the process of gaining an autism diagnosis can be very sexist and racist and whatever else. And he was specifically like, oh, but it's not sexist though. But my dude, you're making a whole video about how women are the ones that are faking autism, because obviously men don't fake autism because their autism is really obvious and apparent because they're men, so they act the way an autistic person should. And it's a load of bollocks, isn't it? We all know that. It's just an absolute load of bollocks. Very quickly before I get to my main point as well, he had something to say about their accent, and it was all like, oh, they're trying to sound hard. And that's just a Newcastle accent. You just don't understand what British accents sound like. They weren't trying to sound like anything. That's just how some British people speak. Just the level of ignorance and stupidity astounds me from some people, okay? And this was one of those guys. So finally, getting on to the part of it being cute and quirky, it's fucking not, is it? Like, I'm sorry. I've watched a lot of autism content at this point on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. I've made a fair amount of it myself. At no point have I seen anyone, especially late diagnosed or self-diagnosed autistic women, we ain't making it look cute or quirky. You know, where the fuck is this cute quirkiness? The vast majority of the time we're talking about how incredibly difficult it is to survive and attempt to thrive in a world that's so clearly not made for us and doesn't particularly want to make any adjustment in order to make our lives easier. You know, just going from the past week in my life, I didn't think it was all that cute or quirky when my train was cancelled on Thursday and I proceeded to have one of the largest meltdowns I've had to date behind Lime Street Station, just sat in the street crying, sobbing, hyperventilating. You know, the 2 times that I attempted to go to college and then became just so incredibly overwhelmed and burnt out with having to be around people and trains and the sounds and all of the sensory issues on top of trying to be a person when I don't know how to act like a person half the time. You know, it didn't seem awful cute and quirky then, and it seemed even less cute and quirky when I had to drop out and spend like 3 years being super depressed and doing absolutely nothing. You know, and I understand that those are like the more extreme ends, but it's not fucking cute and quirky. I don't see anyone representing being autistic as being cute and quirky. You know, even when you get onto the things that can be cute, you know, like my girlfriend stims sometimes, and I think it's the fucking cutest thing to have ever happened to the world. But I also know that personally, as much as like my girlfriend might tell me my stims are cute, I've been bullied for them. All the little things that I do with my hands, people have pointed out. I've said 1,000 times before on this channel at this point, when I was like 14, I chewed the inside of my lip as a stim, and a full-grown man made like the face that I did back at me in order to just make me feel bad about myself on the street for a stim. You know, I don't see any part of being autistic as being seen as cute and quirky by wider society. You know, that's why it takes so much effort to learn to accept ourselves and like ourselves and learn to unmask and actually act autistic. Because once you actually show autistic traits and act like you're an authentic autistic person, a lot of the time, lots of people don't like it. Lots of people will then find things to bully you for and pick at you for. You know, even autistic kids screaming was made into a meme. I don't see where this idea that people would fake being autistic because it's cute and quirky. I don't think that being autistic is seen in society by most people, by the internet. It's not seen as being cute and quirky. It's all too often seen as being a deficit and us being inept and unable, which it also isn't. I think there's a middle ground between the two that desperately needs to be found, where it's just a case of we're autistic people and we exist and we deserve to be treated with respect and be accommodated to in reasonable ways. And it just makes me so angry and upset on like the behalf of the people that are having these reaction videos made about them, the people that will watch those videos that maybe relate to that person just to hear them being torn down. It just absolutely sucks, and it's not helping anyone. It's not good for anything apart from the one person getting some stupid views. You know, and I get it. Believe me, I get it. My last few videos haven't done so well, and it's not pleasant logging into the YouTube studio thing and seeing all the little downward arrows and being told like you're not doing as well as you were. But also, my dude, like, content should have a point, and I'm making content I'm proud of. Are you? That's the question. Is that guy proud of his content, or is he just pumping it out? I understand that that's how things will get when money's involved and human nature and greed and people's differing opinions, but it just really kind of... I think I've finally gotten past the point of being angry, and I am just sad about it. I'm just sad that, you know, like, someone would bother to do that. Like, surely you've got other things to be doing. You know, and it was reading the comments as well. The amount of people that agreed with him was gross. The amount of people saying, oh, well, I've experienced X, Y, Z that this person that you're reacting to is experienced, but I'm not autistic, I'm just this, or I'm just that, or that's just the way people are. And that's also really, really sad, because no, if you fully relate to autistic people, it's probably because you're autistic. And you deserve the support and community and everything else that autistic people deserve. And instead, there's these pockets of the internet, pockets of society, I'm not sure what to call them, groups, cults. There's these individuals that are helping to spread this idea that it's okay to struggle, it's okay to feel out of place and like you don't know who you are and like you're not like other people. And that's just how everyone feels, when it's not. It's really fucking not, you know? Like, that was how I felt for the longest time. And, you know, I still feel like that a lot of the time. I still feel very different to other people, and I still struggle to make friends, and it's a whole thing. But then there's the times that I'm around other autistic people, and it's such a sense of belonging, and, you know, they're like me, I can communicate, and the way that they communicate works for me, and it's interesting to listen to people. Like, meeting other autistic people is great, and these people that are getting the idea that they can't be autistic because we're just faking it to be cute and quirky, or the way that things, like, you know, this idea that we're lying and they can't relate to us because we're just liars and that's just the way people are. It's just damaging people and preventing people from, like, researching and finding out more about themselves and possibly even gaining their own diagnosis. And it's not good. That's all I have to say. I'm done now. I'm finished. It's really not good for anyone, and it's upsetting, and it's lame, and it's gross, and it makes me very angry and sad. And I'd love to hear other people's opinions on it. I'd love to know if you've watched videos that are similar to the one I describe and what you thought of them. If there's any parts you agree with, disagree with. I just like hearing your opinions on what you think. I am also, like, after I finish filming this and possibly I edit and do some other shit, I am gonna actually reply to some comments from my last videos. Because as I always say, I read them all and I love reading them, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've thought of this point and this point, I'm going to get back to that. And then I just sort of don't. And the more comments I get, the more I do that, which sucks and is so lame, because I actually want to, like, have community and speak to you. And instead I'm just like, well, I've done my talky bit here, and then you've replied to a comment, so that's the exchange. but I don't want it to be. I don't want to actually reply. So whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you're having a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I'll see you again in a few days.